Welcome back to Living with a Classic, and today is a really good tech tip. I have a normal steering rack here. It's the one going into the right-hand drive to the left-hand drive XJS, but they're pretty much the same on the XJ Series 1 through Series 3 and the XJS. They all have one little issue, or really two issues. One of them we've gone through maybe 3, almost 4 years ago, is they like to leak from the pinion seal. That's very simple to replace. I have a video on that. I'll link it down below. That also shows how to get one of these out of a V12 car where it's a little tight. 6-cylinder cars, it's really easy to get these out. And the other issue is the bushings. The original ones, they can easily get a little bit of play in them, not only because they're old, but it's just how they're designed. So you can get an imprecise steering feel. The new ones, not only are they easier to install, you can just push them in with your fingers, they're a lot better and you get a nicer steering response. If I show you guys how to replace these, just how simple it is, you don't need any special tools, and really it's a very quick job. But let me show you. I've replaced one on here and then we'll do the other two ones and I'll show you guys that it's not that difficult. I replaced this one just to show you what it looks like when one is in place. We have these two left to do. I don't have the inner part left. I threw it out, but here is the outer part. So when these went in originally, they need to be pressed in. You can get them out in another way, and I'll show you that. All you need is a hammer, a hacksaw, and a socket extender, and a socket. That's it. And the new ones you push in with your fingers. Part number is CAC1635K. I bought a whole bunch of these. You see, they're made back in 2018 when I got these. I got 5 or so when I ordered from S&G Barrett. This is the last set I have left. So it's going in this car. I'll set up the camera. We'll get these out. And I'll show you how easy it is to get the other ones in. Excuse the mess a little bit here. I'm only working on half the workbench because on the other half, I am trying to strip paint off these cam covers. It's going pretty well. Paint stripper is not, this is one that's not really, it's not bad. It's actually biodegradable. It takes a little bit of time. So it's been going for about 12 hours so far. I think pretty soon I can start getting most of the paint off, but that's a different thing. So I'll set up the camera. We'll punch these out, cut out the outer sort of ring, and then we can get those in. So there are 2 parts to this basically, or 3 parts. There's a metal bushing here, then there's rubber around there, and then there is where the outer one is pressed in. I mean, it's all pressed in as one. But usually, these are old, so you can usually knock out the centers. Might need to knock it back and forth a couple times to break the rubber. But you can usually do this a couple times and they'll start coming out. That's also a good example of, you see how much movement is in them? That is a good example of why you need to replace them. You should be really careful when you're hitting, because I'm not hitting very hard, but if it doesn't move, like I got this one out, no issues, but this side, it doesn't want to move. You can use a drill. Get a drill bit that is the size between that metal part and the other metal part, and start drilling out the rubber. Just go around it and you'll weaken the whole bushing, and then you can knock it out. There we go. So, in hindsight, this bushing was probably the only one that was still good because it put out a fight to get out. Usually, this whole sleeve moves about in here, and with just a knock or two, you can get them out. Like I said, don't hit too hard. This is aluminum. You don't want to break anything. And now, We need to make a slight little cut in here. Once again, being very careful not to damage the aluminum. Just a cut in here to break the tension from this outer ring, and then that can be tapped out as well. I like to do it by hand with a regular hacksaw because you do not want to cut in to the steering rack itself, and that's really easy to do if you use a power tool such as a saw, even though this would be a lot faster. If you have a new blade on one of these, it's not too bad. So let me get that into there, and we'll tighten that up. And I'm just going to choose somewhere, anywhere on here. Just simply cut it. There we go. So that is this out. As you can see here, I almost cut it through, so I could have cut it a little bit more, but it still worked. And the most important part is that this is saved, has no nicks, is in good shape. I'll knock that one out, and then we'll install these. Here's the second one I got out. That one I cut through all the way. If by any chance you make a little bit of a nick in this, it's actually not the end of the world. Get a little bit very, very fine sandpaper or memory cloth and just, clean it out, and it's going to be fine. So here are the bushings. They come like this. You see how easily they just push apart. So push the one end into there. Push the other one on. And if you can't get it in all the way, you can either knock it or we can use a little bit of a clamp. Let's push this one in as well, and we can get clamp. I'll show you guys. So, yeah, sometimes they're a little bit tighter to get in, but you can basically push them in with your fingers, which is very neat. So I just get a clamp on it. It's in all the way, and you can use the same on this one. Of course, you can use the vise. If you don't have a vise, I'm just trying to show you that you can still do a job like this. And see here, it's not in perfectly all the way. You can tap it very gently. Last it a bit, and see, that one's good. And they're all pretty good now. And there we have it. 1, 2, 3 new bushings in place. Really a very simple job because the new ones just press in simply by hand. The old style ones, you really needed like a big vise or hydraulic press to get them in. So really, really good. And no chance of cracking the housing or anything when putting something in, because this is aluminum and yeah, not as strong as it could be. But these also improve the handling and feel. You will feel a difference when you replace these. It's a really, really good, simple upgrade on any XJ. Anyways, that's it for this video. A little bit of shorter tech update today. Still been a little bit under the weather, so just preparing things for the next part on the XJS. So the other steering rack needs to go out. This one needs to go in, but I thought I've never actually showed you guys replacing these bushings. I thought that'd make a good video. Anyways, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and share it with friends. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, please do subscribe to the channel. It really does help out a lot. Until next time, I'm Adam. This was Living with a Classic. I'll see you soon.